JayZ's empire is shaking like never before. The same people he once brushed off are now circling back with vengeance, and Gene Deal just lit the match, claiming Jay's name is next on a very dangerous list. Even Beyonce, who's always stood by her man through storms, is said to be quietly stepping back before things get real messy. And Diddy, he's out of the picture too, cutting ties and claiming Jay didn't lift a finger to help him during his trial. The energy around JayZ is shifting fast, and it's not looking good. JayZ's dealt with drama before, but this time, the fire's closing in from all sides. Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal been warning the streets for years, saying both JayZ and Diddy run things like they're untouchable, using fear, silence, and money as their weapons.
You know what I mean, man, is that Diddy used to hate JayZ. He hated JayZ enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at JayZ. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean?
They painted a picture of two men who built empires not on talent alone, but on intimidation and secrets. And now, karma looks ready to collect its payment, one name at a time. Diddy's already behind bars, but whispers say JayZ's fall could be even darker, something that might destroy more than just his freedom. There's talk about a new alliance, Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince, three names that carry serious street weight, all rumored to be talking about JayZ behind closed doors.
Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, and Jay Prince, these four gentlemen that got together, they're gonna put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
But Suge came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording fund is, 10% goes to the union. And each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds ready to be.
All of us was being hit up around the same time. Someone left that meeting talking about our move.
It was JayZ and Puff that went to those Leo Corner to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're going to make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they got to come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand collective economics.
Streets are buzzing with claims that Jay's a snitch, and apparently the proof goes all the way back to the late 90s. Remember that wild 1999 KitKat Club incident with record exec Lance Rivera?
Top rap star is busted.
JayZ turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as JayZ. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the KitKat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was JayZ hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of JayZ.
JayZ was charged after that stabbing and later pled guilty to third-degree assault. But what raised eyebrows is how fast the story disappeared. Lance Rivera has always claimed Jay didn't stab him, but insiders say the silence was bought and paid for. Cause in that world, talking too much isn't brave, it's deadly. What's even more shocking, JayZ once called that whole stabbing scandal the best thing that ever happened to him in an interview.
You had an incident with Rivera. You know, where you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon?
They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay, all right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still kid from Marcy Projects, and you know, not everybody, they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad it didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to parties with 30 people, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna put myself in that position no more.
Yeah. When you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you could find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of club.
Who brags about a crime like it was a career move. Fans were stunned at how cold that sounded, like he wore that chaos as a badge of honor instead of shame. Word is, JayZ kept Lance on a tight leash ever since, making sure that story never sees daylight again. But people who were actually there that night, they remember, and the only one still pretending not to, Lance Rivera himself, and that silence speaks louder than any confession. First Diddy fell, and now it's JayZ's turn. Something big is happening in Hollywood, and it feels like someone's cleaning house for real. The so-called untouchables are finally being hunted, and people are whispering that JayZ's next in line for a major takedown. Even Ice Cube threw in his 2 cents, claiming he's convinced Diddy didn't just fall, he was set up. That's a serious claim coming from a legend like Cube.
You're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
He produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of, you know, lost contact with him and really stopped, you know, dealing with Puffy around 94. Yeah.
Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, you know, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. You know, that just ain't what I'm in it for.
Think about it. One day, Diddy's flying private, popping bottles, and showing off billionaire moves. The next, he's locked up and $700 million lighter. You don't lose an empire like that overnight without some powerful hands pulling strings behind the scenes. Something about this whole story stinks, and folks online can feel it too. Now the spotlight's turning to JayZ, and the rumors about his past are catching up fast. He acts untouchable today, but back in the 90s, things were real different.
What's the story behind JayZ being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac?
All right, what happened was that I guess Pac had got whiffed that JayZ was in town. Well, you know he gonna do a show because JayZ, he doing a show. But you gotta realize JayZ had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said some was gonna do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands. Black Hands was one of the labels who did that Black Gangsta had every artist in New York on. And Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive. And he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not gonna come out the room because Tupac threatened him. So he's not gonna do his show. Can he make some phone calls you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit. So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about JayZ being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared.
Gene Deal dropped a bomb saying during that wild East Coast versus West Coast war in '96, JayZ was so terrified of crossing paths with Tupac that he literally locked himself inside a Vegas hotel room. Suge Knight himself supposedly had to calm the situation before things got ugly, telling Pac to let him be so the show could go on. That night, Jay didn't play the boss. He hid behind a locked door. Gene even admitted he once wanted to knock Jay's head off back in the day. That's how raw the tension was.
I wanted to knock his head off, you know, because he was being disrespectful. We was in Cancun, and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industry Entertainment. They just told me JayZ only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door. I said, yo, Jay, you good? And 3 of your other guys, but the other 3 gotta pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, you know, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you gonna make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because once she was beautiful, 2, she's from our block, I wasn't gonna do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation.
So if JayZ was really this dangerous street figure everyone hypes him up to be, how come Gene's out here speaking like that with no fear? Makes you wonder what Gene really knows and what he's daring to expose next. Diddy and JayZ always rolled in the same tight, shady circles, and word is, there are real witnesses ready to speak on it. People used to whisper that these two weren't just partners in music. They had business together that ran much darker. Gene Deal even claimed he knew young people who got caught up in Jay's world, people who never got the justice they deserved.
I want to say this to protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, you know, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and JayZ? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but JayZ. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard JayZ said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing?
Yet somehow JayZ walked through all that smoke untouched. Diddy's empire burned down in public, but Jay's been floating under the radar, protected by the silence of an industry that fears him. But now that wall of protection is cracking fast. The same wave that buried Diddy looks like it's rolling straight toward JayZ. And when it hits, his billion-dollar empire might not survive. And it's wild timing too. Just as whispers start about JayZ being targeted, Diddy's been getting attacked inside prison.
Scary happened to him. One of his close friends is speaking out and saying that while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer, or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and quote unquote saved him. Yes. And so, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, I think in some sort of protected environment. Remember MDC? Isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe because in court, we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course, they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being in court. And we can and just attacks on his life because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like, he's looked at as a trophy.
Multiple attempts in just the last few months, and the only reason he's still alive is because a quick-thinking corrections officer stepped in just in time. Something's happening behind those walls, and if Diddy's paying the price now, JayZ might be next in line to face the same dark storm. Somebody's out for blood, and this ain't random at all. The whispers are getting louder. Whoever came for Diddy is now setting their sights straight on JayZ. It's looking like payback season, and the game's biggest players are finally feeling that pressure for real. Jay's not just being watched, he's being hunted. Folks in the streets are saying this ain't just beef, it's retribution. Some call it karma, others call it revenge. But either way, it's catching up fast. Diddy's behind bars, and for the first time in his life, he's genuinely terrified. Yeah, the same man who once made others fear him is now sleeping with one eye open. Behind those walls, Diddy's feeling the same cold tension he used to create out here, and it's eating him alive. Life really came full circle for him, and the streets can smell it. Gene Deal confirmed it. Diddy was really attacked, and Lucy Finney, one of Diddy's closest homeboys, was the first to break the silence. Word is, an inmate snuck into Diddy's cell in the middle of the night, armed with a homemade shiv, and tried to take him out. Wild, right? What's crazier is that this wasn't even the first time. Reports say it was the second attempt on Diddy's life, and the tension inside that prison is off the charts. Guards are on edge, inmates are talking, and everyone knows Diddy's enemies are still moving from the outside. But believe it or not, that might not even be his biggest problem anymore. Because while Diddy's fighting for his life behind bars, JayZ's protection on the outside might be falling apart too. See, Diddy always had powerful backup. Rumors say he was even working with the feds as an informant, which is what kept him safe when things got too hot. JayZ, he never had that kind of government shield. His safety came from connections, elite, untouchable names in the industry who could make a problem vanish with one phone call. But if those powerful hands are done protecting him now, then that means Jay's standing alone, no shield, no allies, and a whole lot of enemies waiting for their shot. And let's be real, the stuff Jay and Diddy were mixed up in ain't small-time street gossip. This is deep-level dirt that can cost a man everything. Former mafia boss Michael Franzese even said it himself. If someone like Diddy had pulled those same moves inside the mob, he wouldn't have lasted a day. The moment they found out what he was doing, he'd be gone. No questions, no warnings. And Franzese said the same code applies to JayZ too. Nobody, not even a billionaire rapper, would get a pass for that kind of betrayal. Now, JayZ's burned every bridge he ever had. Every call for help goes unanswered. Every favor's dried up, and the one man who could have saved him, Diddy, is locked up, watching it all unfold. The irony's brutal. When Diddy's world collapsed, Jay turned his back, pretending they were never close. So why would Diddy help now?
Biggie died, Tupac died, and then there was the fight between who was the top rapper now, Nas and JayZ, and then the next thing you know, Nas has a nervous breakdown and he's taken out of the game, and it's all JayZ.
It's all JayZ.
All JayZ. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both, Aaliyah, they shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of both worlds? Best of both worlds. Nobody talks about.
Loyalty dies the moment betrayal walks in. And Jay's finally learning the truth. When the storm hits, fake friends vanish fast, and all that power he thought he owned, it won't save him this time. JayZ ain't the only one who built an empire by stepping on the very people who helped him climb. Diddy was right there beside him, playing the same dirty game, just with a colder smile. The street's been whispering for years that Diddy's power didn't come from luck or talent, it came from leverage. Word is, he was collecting blackmail on some of the biggest names in the entire industry, people who couldn't afford to cross him. Gene Deal spilled that Diddy used to throw those wild no-rules parties, then secretly record everything that went down, every scandal, every hookup, every shady deal caught on tape. Later, he'd use that footage to keep people under his thumb. That's not business. That's psychological warfare. That's next-level control, and it explains how he and JayZ managed to stay untouchable for so long. Both of them mastered the same formula: power, fear, and silence, and they used it to build their kingdoms brick by brick. But now, those kingdoms are cracking from the inside. Diddy's fighting for his life behind those prison walls, trying to survive the chaos he once created. Meanwhile, word is Beyonce's finally had enough, allegedly ready to walk away for good before Jay drags her down too. The same streets that once worshipped JayZ are now watching, waiting, almost eager to see if he finally falls. Gene Deal swears Jay's time is almost up, and when the truth finally explodes, no fame, no money, no private island will be enough to protect him. The empire he built on secrets and silence might just crumble right before our eyes, and this time, there's no one left to clean up the mess. If you're locked into this drama and want to catch every new twist the moment it drops, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because trust me, the next chapter in this story is going to be even wilder. See you in the next one.